I'm Cosmic Conroy, and you are very welcome to this, the Bitcoin Tarot podcast for the week starting the 19th of July 2018. Last week, the card said that our happiness will be complete. And what happened? Let's go over to Charting Chad for our report.
Thanks, Conroy. It's been an interesting week. First thing that happened, Coinbase, they announced 5 new currencies, all of them to be exchanged on their exchange, and the price of all of them shot up 20% overnight. They're calling Coinbase the Kingmaker. And Coinbase also said that they've got permission from the SEC to trade all of the alt currencies that count as securities. So, all good, interesting news for Coinbase. Also this week, the prices of GPU miners, they've dropped. The GPU prices have dropped down. Good news for gamers there, good news for gamers. This week also, BlackRock said that they've got a team looking into crypto. One of the biggest banking institutions in the world looking into cryptocurrencies. So, how's all that affected the price? Well, as you can see here, this is what the price looked last week. And the tarot reading said that whatever happiness we have, it will soon be complete. Whereas my reading, I said that we're probably going down, possibly with a bounce around 6k. And then here's what happened. The price went along flat for a bit and then shot up on the BlackRock news and then shot up again the next day. So the judges have given you, Conroy, a grade B, bringing your grade point average to a B minus. And they've given me a grade F, bringing my grade minus to a C. You're winning, Conroy, you're winning.
Yes! My happiness is complete.
It was a bit vague if you ask me, but the judge's decision is final. So, moving on with my reading. Here, looking at the weekly candles, we can see that the price has moved up above the 50-day moving average, which is good news. That means it's more bullish, less bearish than we were last week. We haven't quite crossed the 128 moving average yet, but we're close to it and heading in the right direction. If we add some trend lines onto that chart, we can see we've also broken the edge of this triangle, which is a good sign as well. Perhaps we can expect some bump up over the next few weeks. We'll have to see. If we look more closely at the hourly candles, we can see we have indeed broken that downtrend by quite a bit in the last couple of days. So if we draw a few more trend lines on there, we can see we haven't quite reached the top of the prior high, even if we are seeing a pattern of lower highs. No, higher lows. So that's all good news as well. Perhaps we could even see, depends on whether we get over that prior high. If we do, then probably going to go up. If we don't, then obviously back down. So, which is it going to do? If we look at the hourly candles here, we can see we do have a bull flag. So the bull flag perhaps makes it slightly more likely that we'll cross the line and then continue to go up. So, overall, I think we're expecting a bit of a boost, but probably no higher than about 8k. With that, that's the end of my chart reading, and it's back over to you, Conroy, for the tarot.
Thanks, Chad. I'm glad you're not a sore loser. Many people would be a very sore loser in your situation of losing. But what will happen next week? Let's turn to the cards to find out. We'll do our usual 4-card reading, where the first card represents the past, the second card represents the current moment, the third card represents the future, and the last card gives us a reason, an overall causality for the timeline. So, let us begin. Our first card represents the past 7 days in Bitcoin, and that card is the 3 of Swords, sorrow. Remember the middle of last week when the price was at the bottom? Do you remember that feeling of heartache and misery and sorrow? That's what this card represents, so I guess we're doing quite well. Let's see what the next card brings. Our second card represents the current moment in Bitcoin, what's going on right now. And that card is the 3 of Wands, virtue. It signals confidence. Bitcoin's price is clearly strong and likely to continue to be strong because it is also good. Let's see what the next card brings along. Our third card represents the future of Bitcoin. So get your brokers on the phone. And that card is the Two of Wands, Dominion. Perhaps this indicates that Bitcoin will continue to dominate against the alts, even as we possibly return to a bull market. I've noticed that the alts didn't rise as much in the last few days as Bitcoin did. Let's see what the next card brings. So, our sorrow will turn through virtue into dominion. But why? Let's find out with our reason card. And that card is the Seven of Cups, Debauch. The market, it seems, is corrupt and full of misgivings and mistrust and fantasy and delusion. And it would seem that in the past, when this card has come up, it has meant the price is overvalued. So perhaps the price will become overvalued, giving us our dominion. I think the meaning of the reading has become clear. The altcoins markets are all corrupt, full of delusion and fantasy, and this has caused us much sorrow in the past. But our current virtue and Bitcoin's current strength will lead to its dominion over the alts. Bitcoin has virtue and will rise in dominion over the alts. That's the end of our reading for this week. We'd like to do a longer format show with more detail and perhaps some altcoins, but we can't afford to do it. If you'd like to chip in and help that achieve that aim, then you can donate. Here's a Bitcoin address. If Bitcoin are in the lead when we get to the end of the fundraising, we'll ignore all the altcoins in all our side readings. If you, on the other hand, like Ethereum and would like us to do a side reading on Ethereum, here's the Ethereum address. They're currently already in the lead. If you would prefer that we did something on the immutability of the blockchain, then here's an etc address. Etc, of course, a daughter currency of Ethereum, and they're in second place. Finally, here's a Bcash address. Bitcoin Cash is the real Bitcoin. If you think that, you can send money here and we'll accept it and then do a side reading on Bitcoin Cash, perhaps block size. There's just 3% of the show funded, so it's all still to play for, and if you can't vote with your money, at least you can vote by upvoting and sharing and generally liking and clicking and interacting with our posts. That's it for this time. Let's hope our virtue turns into dominance, and until next week, may the Bitcoin bless you.